want to introduce themselves individually quickly?
My name is actually Aisling, which is Irish, but everyone calls me Ash because it's easier. So, yep, and I live in England.
My name is Daime, and I'm in California. I was born in Cuba.
I'm Kelly from Tacoma, Washington on the west coast of the U.S. and nice to be here finally.
My name is Marina, and you probably know me on the forum as Echo. I live in the UK.
This is Tejada in Vienna. On the forum, it's Marilla.
I'm Patrick. I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I'm Patrick D on the forum.
Hello, Celeste. Hi.
I had my mic on.
Hello, I'm Reenah's son, and welcome to Face2Face, Circle of Friends from Eckhart Tolle TV. I just want to share what a transformation this whole experience has been for me and for many who've been with us in past episodes. Just bringing our relating to this dimension now invites a closeness, and I notice a deeper kindness unfolding somehow too on the forum, because somehow we see less the difference and just more the similarity. And what do I mean by that? I mean, we just see our hearts, because this is more than just connecting and talking about words and sharing on a topic. It's really more about a meeting of our hearts and coming to be here and meet in love and just be ourselves and not judge the other. So today we have a topic, as we normally do, and it's going to be on transformation. So what is transformation to us? Obviously, many of us have had an aha moment, otherwise we wouldn't be here. So something's working for us that brings us to these teachings and even brings us here. But I'd also like to look at the deeper meaning, shall we say, of transformation. Like, is it sustainable? And when I say sustainable, I don't mean something that we put our attention on to hold on to, but rather, when we have a shift, is it something that fades in our memory, or is it something that, you know, that somehow allows an aliveness to always be there? So often we have something called a spiritual experience or a spiritual awakening, and yet the old beliefs come and somehow have a grab on us. What does it take for a deeper shift, an energetic shift, shall we say, to allow this to be? So I'd like to hear how everyone experiences this. And please start off by introducing yourself and where you're from. And remember, this is just a topic, and it can unfold into anything, and just share what's here, and even if nothing comes up, just share how you're feeling.
Hi, my name's Kelly, and I'm from Tacoma, Washington on the west coast. What came to mind when you said, I think in your email you said an aha moment, and then how do we go about sustaining that? And immediately what came to mind was a sustained aha sounds more like just an ah. And that's kind of what I feel. It's not so much a pleasurable, comfortable feeling as you said, a comfort. although it is if I look back on it. But at the time, it's more not a presence. I find is more a complete lack of negativity. But I hate to always balance negativity with positiveness. It's more of just the absence of negativity, and what remains remains, and kind of hard to put into words. But I like that. To me, I can sustain a kind of a non-negative state, I think, by listening to music. And it's not so much, sometimes it's the words, but sometimes it's just following the notes. And thoughts come and go, but there's actually no attachment to any of them. So, and certainly no negativity while I'm listening to music. So that was something that came to mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Cal.
Hi, I'm Patrick. I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And what came to mind for me was an experience that I had several years ago. I was in Australia, actually, on a Zen retreat right outside of Sydney. And it was a 7-day retreat. And we were meditating about 10 hours a day. I think I talked about this on the forum. But what I noticed was about 4 days into it, I was in the same state of mind or same state of being, whether I was on the cushion meditating or not. For example, I noticed it at night just before falling asleep. And when I woke up in the morning, it was still there. And it's hard to describe, like everyone says, with experiences like this, but more than anything, it was very peaceful. And there was a feeling of love and joy. And it stayed with me for a couple of months, actually, after the retreat was over. You know, gradually it faded. And so the challenge for me has been to try to find ways of getting back to that point and sustaining it as much as possible. And for me, the practice that works best for that is a Zen meditation practice. And I'm trying to find the right rhythm where you know, I do a day or two of it, more intensive practice, and then, you know, back to ordinary life. So that's the challenge for me, is to try to find a way to stay in that state of being. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Okay, I'm ready to speak. I read the email and I tried to meditate on what I was going to say to be ready, because not every time you have, you know, the moment of the peace to really speak from within. And to me, it was like peeling away my, you know, I had many aha moments. It just, there's not one aha moment. There were many aha moments. Every time you kind of peel away a layer of conditioning, you have an aha moment. And then you keep working at it. And then again, another layer of conditioning peels away and you have an aha moment. That's the first part for the first question for me. That's what I had to say. It's kind of like a peeling away and then you have an aha moment. And you peel away and then you have an aha moment. It's like letting the light just come through. And that's all I have to say on the first question. Would you like me to answer the second question? Or
please continue to share as you feel.
okay, the second question is on can a spiritual shift be a true transformation, defined as a sustainable break from holding onto the past conditioning? What came out of that or peeling away, there is transformation, your transformation into a more beautiful being. You're more true to your purpose, whatever your purpose is here on earth. And it's you become more authentic, more beautiful, what you were meant to come here on this earth for. And I call it like the butterfly, and there's freedom in that, many freedom. I don't know if there's more layers and layers that I have to sit there and peel away, but right now it's feeling very beautiful, very good. I feel the love, and that's all I have to say on that. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste, Day May, who we know is within on the forum.
Well, can I say something now? Yeah? Okay.
Yes,
hello.
go ahead. Hello.
Hello, my name is Marina. I'm Echo on the forum. I live in the UK. God, when I read this topic, you know, in a way my mind has gone blank. Well, it's still blank a little bit, but yeah, we'll try to see what comes up anyway. Actually, I want to say to Patrick that I think your Zen practice is working really well, because when I was listening to you right now, I just felt very peaceful and a sense of calmness just washed over me, because I was very nervous at the beginning, but I knew it takes like a few minutes listening to Patrick and I feel more centered and ready to talk as well. So that was very good. I appreciate it, really. Why is it a bit difficult for me to speak on this subject is I find myself very much in the place of not knowing right now. And I'm not saying it's a bad place or anything. It's just I begin to question everything now. Do I really know these things, you know? Because very much we operate in spiritual cliches and say things like we are pure love and we are the formless and this and that. I don't know anymore. You see, I can't say these things with conviction. And the more aha moments I'm having, big or small or very profound or just tiny ones, I find that actually the less I know. The less I know, and I'm very honest about it. And I don't know whether it's good or bad. It just seems like it's a never-ending process. It's a never-ending process. You never arrive. You never arrive somewhere where you can say, yes, here I am. You know, I'm in pure bliss. I'm in paradise now. And that's where I am now. That's just, I wanted to share this. just wanted to say a few words in defense of conditioning, because like peeling, it's very often it's just seen as something very negative, something to get rid of, something to peel off, something to dissolve. I don't know, can't think of another word, but really, I think conditioning is something that we have signed up for when we decided to be born here. It's a natural thing we're having. So I want to look at it at a broader perspective. So conditioning is not necessarily good or bad. You know, sometimes if I'm conditioned to be a compassionate and loving person, why not have this conditioning? You know, I don't have anything to peel, it's just there, and it's beautiful. But on the other hand, you know, it can be very primal and something that I'm not aware of. It's still there. So in a way, when I get caught up in it again, and I don't see it as a big problem, actually. I don't see like I have to peel something, I have to do something about it. I'm fine, you know, it is a process, you know, it's a never-ending movement. Yes, sometimes I move more towards transformation, towards light, and then I return back. It's not a linear thing, you know, that we peel and peel, and then we arrive. Hello, you know, I'm an enlightened being. No, you know, it's if I return, if I notice myself getting caught up in the stuff, you know, I just say, well, that's fine, that's okay, you know, that's totally normal. That's totally normal. I don't feel like I have to make a certain effort, you know, here. So whether it's sustainable or not, whether we have these aha moments, I'm not too bothered if it's not sustainable, you know, because I think if the shift fades eventually, that it's just a phase. I see it as a phase, and I am just observing this phase, you know, nothing else. Nothing else. On the other hand, I do see the point, you know, sometimes we say don't do anything, and I don't like that, you know, because don't do anything is also not, I'm sorry, I'm speaking too much, I will finish in a minute. The don't do anything is really another way, is another dead end. Don't do anything, you see, because, for example, when we, I don't know, graze a knee, we fall with, and the knee is bleeding. Do we leave it, you know, and just say, don't do anything? No, I think we will soothe it, we'll put a plaster on, and we'll let it heal, right? The same, I think, in spirituality. Sometimes it's important to put a plaster on, I think. And sometimes if you see that if you're acting out the conditioned behavior, and it's bringing more harm to yourself or to the people around you, I think it's okay to actually put a plaster and do something about it. And it's not an effort, I think it's a natural way of dealing with a situation. So this is just a few things that came up to mind right now. And it was lovely hearing all of you already, so I'm looking forward to more comments from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Marina. You are transformed.
Celeste from New York, Westchester, New York. Hi, everybody. Aha moments. I feel like I get them so frequently, but then they don't happen anymore. I guess something that you mentioned about they become a memory. I mean, and then I want to find it. Where is it? I want it back again. And just get caught up in stuff. I find it easier now to look at it a little more clearly for what it is and know that it's nothing and to let it go. That's been easier for me. Easier. Not easy all the time, but easier. And I don't know what else, where I wanted to mention something. oh, the belief systems. That's hard. It's hard. It's ingrained in us for such a long time, right? And I say a lot. So transformation, I don't know. I feel like my friends here at ETTV are so much more advanced than I am. I'm not supposed to, I guess, make comparisons. I'm not making comparisons, and I guess just stating a fact from what I hear. Some of the things someone mentioned today, I was reading a thread, a new person that just came to the community and said something about she doesn't understand the way we speak here. And I remember saying that when I first came to ETTV 3 years ago. And now I guess my ahas are better in that way, because now I do understand a lot of it, but I can't explain it. Just like right now, I can't explain what I'm even feeling, but they're there, and it feels good, and it feels good. Thank you.
Thanks, Celeste. Ash is back.
I'm Ash, and I'm from England, and I've been having these sort of aha moments quite regularly. But what would happen in the past is I'd sort of try and grasp onto the experience, because after I have these sort of awakening moments, I'd have days where I'd be at peace and sort of there'd be a stillness there, and it would inevitably sort of start to fade, and I'd sort of try and grasp at it and try and sort of hang on to that peace. And what I've found is the more I sort of allow it to pass, the more integrated it becomes into my life. So instead of having these sort of aha moments regularly, there's sort of a more level peace that is there all the time, because when these moments come, I'm no longer grasping at them, I'm just sort of letting them come and go, and so there is sort of a more continuous peace and stillness. And that's needed. Thank you.
Can I speak, Reenah?
Yes, go ahead, Michaela.
Oh, okay. Sorry, because the picture quickly froze. This is Michaela. I'm in Vienna, and I just loved listening to all of you. And it's becoming so very, very clear that we all have different experiences. And I think this is what's so marvelous about this process, because it starts somewhere and then it starts to unfold right in the middle of your life. And I think what was coming to my mind is that we also define the aha moments differently. And I think each of us here, and you know, it's just a reflection of how we experience it. So I'm going to explain what an aha moment is for me. It's usually an insight. It's like, aha, so this is how it works. And this is a bit indicative, I think, of how I experienced this whole process, because from the first moment on, my whole process started with an aha moment, a very brief but very clear aha moment in terms of this is how it works, and basically it was just nothing I experienced is actually true. And from there, a process unfolded. And I had more and more and more of those insights, of those aha moments. And the beauty of an aha moment is, once you have an aha moment, it sticks with you. Because if it's a true aha moment, if you see what it really is, it allows you to change your behavior. And so this is how the whole transformation unfolds, and that's another word we're using all the time. For me, it means to start living your life from a different vantage point. So not from the viewpoint of the self-identity or the ego identity, but from a broader perspective. And that goes really on and on and on and on. And in my case, it was not so much that I got it, I lost it. What changed was the energy level. Sometimes the energy level was higher and it felt fantastic, and sometimes the energy level felt lower and it felt pretty crappy. But I also realized that this is normal, that this is perfectly normal, and that the trick with this is not to hold on and to grasp for the peace and for the beautiful experiences, but be available to whatever is coming at you. And the interesting thing with this is, and maybe this is what was really the sustainable or the sustainability with this is, the more or the further it went, the more I've been able to also embrace and hold the so-called negative experiences, and I would rather call them uncomfortable experiences. So, you know, I mean, moments of fear or moments of emotions or moments that are right out painful. And to me, this is really the sustainability that I'm gaining. That is basically to be able to hold more of life's experiences, because that is what I realized is happening with the conditioning, and you know, when we are conditioned to the hilt, that you know, with each insight, these conditionings would, or the layers of the conditioning would grow thinner, so I would no longer react based on these conditionings, which basically meant I was going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and that also meant the experiences I had were becoming more raw. Yeah, this is what I would really call the sustainability in this, and it's a little bit you know, bottom up. I mean, nobody told me that in the beginning, that, you know, I mean, it's not really about the beautiful experiences. It's all about being able also to hold the other side. And then, of course, if you know, I mean, get into this, and if you're able to balance this, then of course, you know, I mean, there is a sense of underlying peace and rightness and goodness, and all the other stuff. Yeah, I think I stop here. Otherwise, I talk and talk and talk.
That's fine, Michaela. We love to listen to you. It's been great listening to all of you, really, because I can relate to the aspect you all come from. You know, transformation for me is like an energetic shift, and usually it happens when I notice a contraction is happening in my life. You know, it's such a narrow focus onto something, and then somehow that opens up. You know, it's like it no longer has a hold, or I notice perhaps a story that's behind something that's happening, and then I find myself at some sort of choice point where, you know, I can move with it or not, because there's enough open space to see what's happening. And it's like, so often I think we look at transformation as a thing, you know, like it's something to attain. And even sustainability, I guess, can imply that it's a thing, and sustainable means that we're going to hold on to a certain space. But it's not about holding on to anything, you know. I guess that's why many teachers would point to transformation as no thing. It's like allowing a perplexity to be there, or allowing just simply what is there to be there. And somehow by that allowance, there's a noticing, and a space opens up where, you know, the space of creativity, and it's an aliveness. And then when certain belief structures or old belief structures come up again, I'm less tempted to go with them, and in some situations no temptation at all. Oh, here it is again, and here's this energy moving through my body, and somehow by allowing it to move through my body, it seems to dissipate very quickly. So I'm wondering if any of you have any questions for anybody else, or something else you may want to share that has arisen from this sharing at this point.
Sure, I'd like to say a few more things.
And just one more thing before you start, Kellen, and let's notice our energy, and just notice if we have a shift here, even like an energetic shift from just what's happening here now. Please continue, Cal.
Well, I'll go in a different direction then. First off, what I'm noticing is that even though we're all talking using different words, it's like I can feel the common threads, if you will, which I think is very on one level it's enjoyable. On another level, it helps me to broaden my own thoughts and be more inclusive with not just in. I guess it's more a question of getting to know myself better, because you all describe incidents that I've had and perhaps have not seen them as significant until just now. And so I appreciate being in this face-to-face kind of a format. It really, it's more so even than on the forum in a way. It's more immediate. And but anyway, getting back to what I wanted to say, what helps me, and Michaela, what she said about just being available. I used to spend a lot of time in that what if kind of thought pattern, thinking about what might happen in the future and how best to prepare for it. Could be an action, could be a conversation I was going to have, or whatever. Anymore, I find that the transformation is in very much a different sort of attitude about life, going forward, or actually not going forward, but trying to stay in the present. It's more, instead of the what if, it's more of an anticipation, not an anticipation so much either as just an enjoyment of the adventure of what might come. I've been involved in a 12-step program, and I think early on one of the things that I really had to grasp, hold on, in the beginning, hold on to tightly, was that pause and then respond, as opposed to reacting. Reacting based on, again, all those what if scenarios that I would play over in my mind, and I just don't feel the need anymore. There's nothing that drives that. At least most of the time, life is an adventure, and it's I think on this road of seeking to divest myself of something. I know that I can't divest myself of my ego, but I don't have to pay attention to it as much. And when it wants to do those kinds of things, yes, you know, I've learned that to just go with the feeling, hopefully not to create any any damage around me, but sometimes it's hard not to. But I think it's that looking at life as an adventure now. I'm not locked into what I thought I was locked into before. So anyway, that's what came up. I wanted to share that. Thank you.
If I may, I would like to say one more thing. And I forgot to mention this, but I think this is also important because there is quite some confusion about this. And Reenah mentioned this in the beginning. It was a question, does there need to be some commitment? And I think that is very true. I think there needs to be a certain earnestness about this, and there needs to be a certain commitment about it. Because the only thing that is required with all of this is to stay with it, to simply stay with it, whatever happens. And, you know, I mean, sometimes the weirdest things happen, and you have the weirdest insights, and sometimes, you know, I mean, you go definitely in the wrong direction, and sometimes, you know, I mean, this whole thing really surprises you. But it's really like learning to drive. I always compare it like with learning to drive a Porsche, you know. It's like a highly powered car. It's not that you do not have to do anything. I mean, it is very true. It is very true on one hand that this whole process, you know, I mean, just unfolds and goes on, and, you know, you do not need to worry about the process in a way. But you need to watch very closely what you are doing in this process, how you are reacting, how you're responding, how you're available, how you're not available. And you also have to learn to be gentle with yourself, something I have not been with myself. I mean, you know, it's simply not my nature to be very gentle with anything. But I realized, you know, it can be quite hurtful and painful if you push yourself, you know, or if you grit your teeth and you go through it. It was not long ago that I actually figured out I don't have to do this. You know, I mean, I can go gently because I see it. I simply see it unfolding, and the only thing I have to do is to respond to it. And you know, it's just the further you go, you know, I mean, you don't if you live against what you know, then the more hurtful it gets. But those are really the experiences, and that was also to the effect of what Marina was saying. There is a doing involved in this. You do not need to lead or figure out the process, but the doing is in the response. Thank you.
That's a good distinction, Michaela. Thank you. And I'd just like to add one little thing to that. That for me, the commitment is the commitment of my focus, because so much my focus can go, oh, well, all I need to do is feel this. And I've noticed that sometimes I've used that as resignation to sort of go absent and not feel and really truly allow and see what is here now. And the more I allow myself to be with what is here now, whether it's pleasurable or not pleasurable, comfortable or uncomfortable, somehow, you know, the untruth of a contraction or a perceived negativity just reveals itself by my commitment of that focus to stay with what's here.
Just a few little things. What Cal said about going forward, and then correcting himself, saying, no, actually not going forward, but staying in the present. But I think we can say going forward. I think it's, by going forward, I mean evolving. Evolving, it's about evolution. You see, it's not about like moving forward like that. You know, it's evolving to a new place, to a new state of being, you see. So it is going forward was quite good, actually. And because to me, sometimes staying in the present sounds a bit static, which I personally don't quite like, you know. There's not enough movement for me in that one. But it's just the way we perceive things sometimes. And another thing is like what Michaela was talking about, that there are different quality of aha moments. And I think this is very true, because sometimes it's just, when I started reading The Power of Now, there was aha moment one after another. The light bulb went one after another, and I'm thinking, wow, now I know, now I really know, you see, now I'm getting it. But of course, these kind of aha moments are not sustainable if they come from outside. If there is an aha moment like Patrick described, for example, more during a retreat when he was in a deep meditative state for a few days, when he was in this place of great spaciousness, you know, that is very, very conducive to the things to come through. This kind of aha moments I find are more sustainable. And when you learn something from there, this is something you cannot unlearn anymore. Basically, it can go into the background, but it can not leave you. You see, it will be there. And it's just a matter of sometimes of shifting yourself, you know, and you know, we all have doorways there, I think. So it's a matter of getting a little sort of shift yourself a bit into that more spacious place that you know of. So these, and then it is sustainable. Then it becomes easy. Then I feel safe, you know. Even when I fall into my emotions and when I'm caught up in all this stuff, you know, I know it's all not that real. You see, I know that I can always go to that place, and that makes it much more easier for me to handle this whole process, actually. So this is it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Marina. Before May has a sharing, I'd just like to suggest something, and that's that before each one of us shares now, let's just come up and we'll sit with you for 1 minute and allow our sharing to come out of that 1 minute of silence. And let's really feel into that person and allow us to see what unfolds. So May, if you'd like to come on, we'll sit with you for a minute and then you can share.
I really believe that it's not something you really have to punish yourself so much on staying with it. I have to stay with it. I have to stay with it. There's always going to be a time that it will come back to you. Even if you think you get lost, from my own experience, it always came back to me. The one moment, I remember the one moment that I went ahead and everything just started falling into place for me. It was the moment where I had the most suffering. That's when that door opened, and once that door opened, I don't think that door has ever closed again, because every time I've gotten away from it, okay, you could call it God, the source, energy. Every time I've tried to, I haven't tried. Every time I feel my mind has come in and the circumstances outside, you know, have taken over, there's always something from within that happens and brings us back. That's why I love my name so much, that, you know, I was able to pick, because there's always, it's about the within. It's always within. It's inside of you. You know, if you can't look for it outside, I really believe that we have to look inside, because what happens outside, to me, it's getting to the point where, you know, and there was a thread about it today when I opened up the community. It was, I think Ray started up a thread on not minding. And the truth is, really, it doesn't, you just don't mind what's outside. And I don't, you know, even if you don't stay with it, it will come back to you, because I believe that once that door is open, and I think every human being has the moment when the door opens, it's not going to disappear. You have no choice but to evolve. You know, it's not even your choice. It's going to happen. That's all I have to say on that.
I have a few comments I'd like to make, but I like your idea.
Okay, so let's just sit there for a minute with you now, Patrick, just in silence. So you say something, and then have your sharing.
Yeah, there are a couple of things that I'd like to comment on. Michaela was talking about the need for a commitment to the process. I think that's true. That's required, but for me, it also seems like I suppose it is a choice, but it feels like, why would I choose not to do this? You know, once I've gotten started on the process, it seems that it wouldn't make sense for me to give it up, or you know, not to do it anymore. Also, several people have talked about becoming more able to tolerate negative experiences. That's been my experience also. It isn't always easy, but it's easier than it used to be to witness or observe uncomfortable or negative emotional reactions that come up. I also wanted to talk a little bit about and ask a question about whether there's another stage in the process beyond what we're talking about in terms of noticing things and witnessing or watching. The people that I read, and sometimes I think this is talked about on the forum too, that there's a stage at which the watcher or the witness dissolves or disappears. And Cal, I don't know if you were talking about that when you listen to music, whether that happens to you, but I have that experience quite frequently in listening to music very deeply, where it's something I notice sort of after the fact. It's like I've been gone. There's only the music, and then it's, oh, I'm back. That sure was nice, but for a time, the only thing present was the music itself. So if you care to comment about that, I'd be curious. All right, thank you.
Yes, Patrick, I agree. I often, it's not just when I'm listening to music. Sometimes I'll find myself when I'm walking Monty, my dog, and it's kind of like you just kind of, I focus on the ground in front of me, but after a while there's no focus there, and it's just the mind goes off, and so I'm not witnessing. When I start to witness again, I'm a couple blocks down the road, and you know, I've actually had to stop and look behind me to see, you know, if I was still on the road that I thought I was on, and I hadn't taken a wrong turn. But it's like it's almost It's really hard to describe, you know, but I understand exactly what you're talking about, and it is not a place of witnessing the music or witnessing the steps ahead of me. It's more just it's almost like an awareness that I'm not aware of, if that makes any sense. It's really hard to put it into words, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Thank you.
I was just wondering, I wanted to say a few words because Kel mentioned walking the dog, and to me what happened a few times when I walk my dogs is that once I was walking the dogs, and actually I had this experience of not being present physically in that space where I was, and that really, really scared me. I don't know what was scared, because I remember asking a question, and who is holding the lead now? I was wondering who is holding the lead, you know. I just wanted to go back quick, you know, because what has happened? That was very, very, I don't know how to describe the experience. I mean, sometimes it's hard to find the words. Unique, no. Scary, yes, maybe. Yeah, but I actually thought at the moment, then I decided to calm myself down, and I thought, well, I think I wasn't grounded enough. I possibly need to ask Michaela, what do I need to do to ground myself a bit more? Maybe to eat root vegetables or something. But really, this seems to be similar to what you have been describing, and there's really nothing to be afraid of. It is, you know, when you're constantly so associated with your body, you know, with your mind and your body, and these things happen like this, then you think, well, something is not quite right here. But maybe this no such thing is not quite right. Maybe everything's okay. It's just being available to what's arising. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Marina. Could I just ask you a quick question? In regards to your sharing, you were talking about this sort of scary feeling, and I just want to ask the question that, could this scary feeling be aliveness? I mean, sometimes we equate this aliveness, this not knowing, and this deep energy somehow arising as a fear. We give it a meaning. I'm just wondering if that has any resonance for you.
What I think, what scared me is I couldn't find the reference to it in my memory, you know. It was something that I just couldn't place, you know. I couldn't place it, and that scared me because I used to rely so much on my mind, and anything that would not be explainable to me would scare me, probably. So that's where it came from, I think. But it wasn't scary in a bad way. Yeah, it was more like not knowing.
I hear you, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because, you know, like the saying goes, be careful what we ask for, because we say we don't want to know, so to speak, and yet when we're in that not knowing, somehow it can appear like it's scary, and sometimes to some people it can even appear like it's terrifying.
Mm. Thank you.
I would like to make a comment, but I would like to try what Reenah suggested. Maybe sit with you for a few moments before I start. It's just the email coming in. Huh? I think there's really different experiences, isn't it? Because I believe what Marina is describing is more an experience of an expanded consciousness. That means basically that suddenly your attention goes, outside, so to speak, outside of your body, and you are suddenly in a place that you do not know, and it's weird. It's really weird because it's getting very disorienting. But it's just an experience it's just an experience of consciousness. But then I also think there is the experience of going through life without a filter. That basically means without the filter of your own conditioning. And that is like taking off your sunglasses. I think this is really the analogy I really like to use. It's like if you're going out into bright sunlight and you're only used to wear your sunglasses, very dark sunglasses, and suddenly you take them off, then there is this glaring light, and you will react. And so, on one hand, there are those experiences of being, somewhere, and you do not recognize where it is, or you have those experiences of expanded consciousness. But then there's also those very raw and very direct experiences.
I'd like us to take our sunglasses off now and reboot this and just reboot this conversation, and I'd like to leave this topic and just leave it blank, and I'd like us to behold Celeste. And if you don't have any words that come up, Celeste, that's fine, but I'd just like us to sit here and just see what arises now with no topic at all, and just allow us to behold you.
I think I'd like to continue to stay on the topic, if you don't mind, about the doing, because that confuses me. Because I don't think I have to do anything. It has been happening to me. Tom would have a lot to say about me explaining it that way, but I feel whatever is happening, the self, whatever we're calling it, it's happening to me. There's no question. And I don't have to do a thing. Most times my life situation is so busy, I don't have time to meditate and do all of those things. But yet I am becoming more aware, more conscious. Am I doing a lot of work to get there? No, but I know major changes are happening to me in the way I react, or non-reaction actually. The other thing that maybe this is a little off the topic is that my concern is I seem to be fading away from everybody around me, and they don't know how to accept that or to understand it. I guess I look weird, sound weird when I say that doesn't bother me. I get reactions. Yes, it does bother you. No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything to me anymore. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But other people that are not in a conscious state obviously feel there's something wrong. And I guess maybe I wanted to touch that. If that's acceptable right now, I don't know. Thank you.
This fading away is very interesting. Let's sit with this a while. I think a lot of us don't understand this fading away.
Okay. From my saying that fading away? Yes.
Yes.
I'm no longer Celeste anymore. I'm not the Celeste I was.
So
A
let's just
reactive.
sit with it. How about we just sit with it with no words? Let's just sit with it for no words for a moment and just feel into it in the body with no words. And then after some moments, see what words arise from there.
I'm not
Can I
sure.
say,
Maybe. Yeah.
can I say on what Celeste is speaking about that what she's saying, I also truly believe it resonates in me because my my whole way of being, and I'm speaking past tense, is nothing compared to what I am now. And I really did I have a choice in the matter? I think very little, because everything else is something more powerful in me, transforming me every day. And I don't think I really intended for that, because I was more comfortable just being who I thought I was. And again, I thought I was, because I guess I am this right here and now, what you see, and that's what my mind's speaking to me. You are this now, and I'm not what I used to be. And I don't know if I'm explaining myself, but I've changed, and I don't even know how, because it hasn't really been that hard. It's just come. It has just come. The change has come. That's all I had to say on that.
So let us sit with that too, and let us behold you. Just sit with that.
This thing working now? I started to say that as far as fading away is concerned, I feel like I'm becoming more a part of the background, and more content just to experience what is, rather than a situation that I had something to do with. What is, as opposed to what I make the situation. I think that's where what fading away means to me. It's interesting, very interesting. I recall a scene from the movie, the Celestine Prophecy, where the guy's being chased by the bad guys, and he just notices a beautiful view and totally gets lost in that, noticing the view, and they run right past him as if he were in fact invisible, which wouldn't that be something to experience? But it's more a part of, I think, becoming just a part of the background, part of all that's around, and not trying to make it something that, you know, something different. Anyway, that's what came up. Thanks.
It's been interesting listening to the sharing about fading away, because for me it's not a fading, I guess it's not how I pointed it, although I hear where you're coming from, all of you. I feel like I've been faded away. For me, I feel like I've been completely faded away and invisible, and now I feel like somehow I'm finding myself. What am I finding? A personality or something? No, I'm finding and I'm finding an expression, a new expression that feels more authentic to me. And I feel like I stand forward more and share this more and embrace everybody more and everything. And for me, just the experience has been, rather than a dropping away of people around me not understanding, for me it's been just the complete opposite. It's been such ease and enriching experiences, and I know it's different for all of us, and I love to hear how it is for all of us. It's yeah, just interesting.
I just wanted to say about this fading away thing, because to me it was more like Reenah's experience. You know, I think that's a phase we go through when we do blend with the background. We lose kind of the personal identity thing a bit. In a way, you have to regain something back in order to move forward and evolve. You cannot be faded away forever. You know, it's a temporary stage. It's the way I see it and the way I feel about how I am now. So I think this fading away is a necessary part of the journey, where you can kind of move away a little bit from the personality, but then return to the essence of yourself. These are the only words I can find at the moment. If I can think of something more clearer to say, then I will. Thank you.
Thanks, Marina. I was wondering if I could ask Ash if we could sit with you for a minute and just sit in silence with you for a minute and see if a sharing arises or not.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I was wondering if this fading away thing is what Eckhart Tolle would call people who become frequency holders. So they sort of hold the space for everyone else. And I wonder if we all sort of go through that stage of sort of being a frequency holder, and we do sort of fade away a bit before we sort of come out and do something else, or maybe we stay in that stage.
Okay, let's just sit with that for a while before we comment.
I just think that that's a very good observation that Ash has made right now about frequency holders, because I think we have to acquaint ourselves with a different frequency, with a high frequency of being, with a high vibrational frequency. And I think that's what actually may be happening, that we are there, we just have to have a feel for it, you know, what is it there? And that's why the denser part of us fades and the other one reemerges. So it's kind of possibly that's exactly what it is, you know, becoming the frequency holders and being there for a while, staying there. Maybe some people are staying there like this, maybe moving, you know. That's something that just I find very interesting, yeah. Do you feel like you're a frequency holder, Ash?
Let's see how what Ash's discovery is about this.
I feel like I go.
Can I say something?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. On frequency holder and also on moving. Those two words are very, very, they just come together like we must be moving, see? That means we're moving forward. We're the frequency holders because we're moving forward. We're not stuck. That's what came up, you know. We're moving now and we're not stuck anymore. I believe that. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Hey, everyone's saying really great stuff. I'd just really love to give Ash some space at her own rhythm for her discovery.
Okay. I feel like I go through periods where I'm sort of frequency holding, and then naturally I seem to come into a sort of more leadership capacity with what I'm doing and then sort of drop back down, and it seems to be sort of a natural rhythm in my life. Yeah, that's what's happening for me at the moment.
Let's sit with that then, Ash. I'm sorry I'm keeping you on the spot, but I really want to.
Okay.
Here's what came up for me. It seems as if what Ash described is that wave of leadership, and then you kind of go back down a level, whatever. To me, that's talking about your intuition and you know, that intuitively making a contribution to a situation. Not so much out of leadership, just because that's what the universe wants to do right then. And so I think that was a very interesting way of putting it. But that's what I got out of that. It's that creative, intuitive. This situation needs this, without even thinking about it. It's amazing. Thank you.
Wow, wow. This has been really beautiful. Can't believe 90 minutes has gone by already. I'd just like to hear a few last words just before we close here. If anyone has anything they'd like to say.
I would just like to say thank you very much, everybody, for showing up, and Reenah, thank you very much for putting the effort behind organizing this. I hope to come back again sometime. Thank you.
Yes, also from me, thank you very, very much. As I have the privilege of seeing this evolving from the very first Hangout to the second to the third, and it's growing and growing and growing. I'm so amazed about the number of people who are actually wanting to attend this and showing their face and going public. So again, also for me, thank you, Reenah, for organizing this, and thank you, all of you, for spending your time with us.
I also would like to say thank you, Reenah. Thank you, everyone. And I'm glad I'm not alone. I'm glad we're one on all this. I'm glad I'm not alone. Thank you.
That is true.
I just like to
go ahead.
thank you to Reenah as well and everyone. And I found this a really peaceful and brilliant experience. So thank you.
Yeah, I would also like to say thank you, Reenah, for all the time and effort that you put into organizing this, and thanks to everyone for being involved. I'm surprised how comfortable everybody seems to feel. It's really been excellent. Thank you all.
Yes, thank you. I think, oh, sorry.
No,
Celeste, you want to say something? Do you go ahead?
I just wanted to say thank you as well, and to know that I had horrible stage fright, so I may seem calm now. But no, it was very nice. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, I think it was lovely being with all of you today. I really felt peaceful. That's the word I can describe it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, I feel a real naturalness here, and I feel so much connection. And I get to live it all day because it's only early morning here, Monday morning, and really for me the sharing was very rich and very deep. It even goes beyond the words of the sharing. For me, it's the connection that's felt here and the sincerity of everybody just showing up. And I know that takes a lot of courage for some of us more than others. And I just like to acknowledge this and once again hope we can inspire others to allow themselves to be seen and just to come on and be ourselves, because really, you know, isn't that what transformation is? Just to simply be ourselves and find somehow a relaxation in that. So thank you, everybody. Much love to you all. Bye.
In your heart. Maybe you should give your mind a rest and put its main assumption to the test. Just let go and see who leads the bed.